funny thing because your boys are how old?
10.
10. So I think this happened at 10 or 11 years old. Now, I know it was 12 years old. I know I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they sent a letter home from the school. And they said that they were going to teach the children about masturbation.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Where it was appropriate to do so. And I looked at this and I said, he was 12. And I sent that back and I said, no, he will not be attending that. And I said, because our children, again, have compulsive behavior. So if you teach it to him,
And he's pleasured, and then he's pleasured by it.
That's it.
And I said, no, he cannot. That's my job as a parent when that comes up.
Right.
Moving forward.
It came up with Seth and Cyrus when they were 5.
So I told him to take a bath. I said, he's like, Daddy, come in here. And I said, what is it? He said, look at this. This thing is big. And I was like, what? I said, just take your bath. He said, no, Daddy, you got to come in here. This thing is big. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Lord.
And I took my time and I was like, Lord, I'm saying my prayers, Lord. I don't know what to tell this boy, and I don't know. I don't even want to see what's going on in there.
What's big.
All I can hear is the water splashing and all this stuff. So I was like, okay. Let me get myself together. And I said, come on, you got to do this. I go in there. He's laid back. He's got his feet hanging out the tub.
I can't.
He said, Daddy, look at my feet. They so big. I said, thank you.
He put that story on Facebook. He had us hollering.
Oh my gosh. I was like, I said, what they put us through. I went in his room. I'm cleaning his room. I look down. I see this wrapper. I said, no, there is not a condom wrapper in this boy's room. And it's empty. I picked it up and I said, oh, it's a candy wrapper.
Let me ask you, have you had that talk with him?
He's so girl crazy. So the only thing he's still kind of weird still about, the woman's body and stuff. So we haven't had the conversation. What I had to teach him, because he is 22, and he does not understand she's 12, she's 13, So I had to teach him
the boundaries.
If she doesn't, I said, first off, the boundaries, you don't touch anybody, anything like that. So I would tell him, if she doesn't come up to your chin, you can't talk to her. She has to at least come up to your chin. Well, now these 12-year-olds,
for real.
But I have to teach him. That's where at 22, now I have to become that, make sure when there's girls around, I have to be around to make sure that he understands you cannot speak to her. You can say hi, and I teach him. I give him a pound, a high five, move on, no more. So I'm just.
I mean, like for Ross, he was nonverbal, so he likes people with big butts.
Mm-hmm.
So in my family, a lot of people have big butts, so he would go and just feel on their butt because it was like when he was like 12 or 13, and then he would have a erection and want to take all his clothes off. Like it was like he didn't understand what was going on.
And how old was he when he was doing this?
He started about 12 or 13 because he would wake up, with an erection, and then he just didn't understand it. And so at school, he started trying to take his clothes off, right? So we had to put him in overalls because they were harder to get out than pulling his pants down.
You could see him. You could catch him.
To deal with the behavior of it.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of taught him, like, okay, well, you're going to wear the overalls. You're going to wear, like, a jockey strap and some other stuff so that he could figure out what that feeling was, because he can't communicate. He can't tell me what he's feeling. Yeah. So that's some of the things that we did.
Seth and Cyrus have been having an erection and touching themselves since they were like 5 and 6. Cyrus knows that something with it isn't right. He does it in his room. Feet, toes are like I mean, it's so weird. And I walk in the room and he stops and he looks at me and he puts the tablet down. But I'm watching him and he's literally holding it like this and doing this.
Wow.
With his toes straight up. And he's got the tablet and he's just like in his own world. But when someone says something or if he hears a movement, he stops.
He stops.
Seth will not stop. Seth is on the carpet, like humping the carpet like you wouldn't believe. He's grabbing it and he's gripping it and he's pulling his body into it.
Wow.
And even if I say, Seth, stop, what are you doing? He just will not stop. He doesn't, do anything to even, like, he's not embarrassed or anything. Cyrus gets embarrassed and will stop, and Cyrus will find a corner and do it in and be private about it. But Seth does it in front of everybody. He doesn't care.
Yeah, Cortez, he hasn't reached that point. He's interested in the girls, but the sexual part of it, he's still.
There's not a connection there.
He's still young.
He's still young.
He's still he's got like multiple layers. He likes girls, but the sexual
hasn't caught up to it.
Hasn't caught up to why I like these girls. So it's like, that's my girlfriend. And when the girls were in Special Olympics, I think I shared that story before, when they were in middle school and they branched out and didn't want to be around mom anymore, because all of those individuals that are active have boyfriend and girlfriends. And when we were in Special Olympics, I was like, everybody was like, my boyfriend's running. I got to get to his race. Oh, my God. And they would, like, panic. Like, they would do an event, and they were like, I got to go across here because my boyfriend and my girlfriend and my boyfriend. And so I was like, wonder what Sydney and Sabrina, because they're not verbal, if they're feeling it. Well, Sabrina act out. Sydney hasn't caught up as developed, like, so I look at Cortez as, he was young and he was like girl crazy. Right. Like the first time I met him, he was like, these are my girls. Right. These are my girlfriends. And he doesn't forget it beat. But I don't know how that community strives after, like the residential setting. The one girl came to visit the house. I thought I was telling you guys, she liked their house. But because they are nonverbal, and the other house, she met the other two girls that are adults. They talk boy talk. She's going to move with them. Okay. And said to Nina, because she sees Sydney and Sabrina at the day program, they do Meals on Wheels together. She said, we'll come visit because, she liked the food, and she was like, I'll come visit Sydney and Sabrina, but I want to move to the other house. Oh. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like untapped.
It's very untapped. It's so hard to, prepare for it, prepare yourself for it. Yeah. So you just, it is. It's really.
And it's a little scary, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially, I think, for both sexes, because I'm scared for Cortez that if he did touch the wrong person, that's scary. That's
and he's
scary.
A man. What if he's overpowered, not knowing?
Exactly.
And for a woman, it's scary because they can get pregnant.
Take advantage of.
They can be taken advantage of.
So it is. It's hard.
On both sides.
On both sides, they can be taken advantage of.
And our last month, we talked a lot about it with Miller Month, It's just being on top and, like, having those tough discussions. We talk a lot about just mirroring if you're developmentally on target child has the same issues. So we have to, like, merge or build the bridges.
And kind of treat it the same, but just handle it differently.
Yeah.
One thing I always thought was amazing is that our children, our community, they don't see color.
No.
Nothing.
They don't see
nothing.
Anything.
They don't.
Race.
Nothing. They don't have to.
Cortez introduced me to one girl one time, and I was like, oh,
okay.
She's nice. I had to check myself.
Dee Dee, Did he introduce her as his girlfriend?
His girlfriend.
Everyone is his
They was,
girlfriend.
they was getting married and all that stuff.
The funniest. Go ahead.
Well, then we gave away Christmas gifts.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Shoe
The
City
baskets.
contributed to that as well. But we gave away Christmas gifts to his school that he had graduated from. So we went back and gave back to the school.
Milford Mill. Right?
Milford Mill High School.
High school.
Okay.
Oh, did
Yep,
that
that-
So the one girl, when we walked in, she never met Cortez. She only saw Cortez on the Zoom calls for school. And when Cortez walked in the door, she ran around the classroom like he was a movie star. She got to screaming and everything, and she was like, "Oh, Cortez, I'm sorry. I don't want to do you wrong. Please, please." And so I was like, "What?" No, she's like, it was like she loves Cortez, but she so Cortez was gonna marry the other girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's over there, got his arm around her and everything. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Mac Dad.
Right, Mac Dad.
Player.
So then when we get home, Dad, call my teacher and see if you can get the girl's phone number and everything. You know, she liked me and stuff like that. I said, what happened to the girl you was gonna marry? Oh, she gonna be all right. She gonna be
Mac Daddy.
and never knows nobody's name. Never
Oh,
knows.
so he's already calling everybody, hey, baby.
Right, I said, "What's the girl
That's
name?"
me.
And he'd be like, he said, the girl in the peach, the girl in the peach. I said, "What's her name?" The girl in the peach. That's right.
Peachy.
Don't know nobody's name. I was like,
Well, he
boy.
knows Sabrina's name.
Yeah.
He definitely called and
And
asked for her.
Sabrina's mother, get her
Right.
on the phone. Bring them over here now,
She
okay?
pretty. He
Serious.
said she pretty.
She the pretty one.
So they both look alike.
I have a question. Your foundation, tell me a little bit about that. Is that part of the whole, the runway, the
Yes. So
okay.
everything is done under the 3D Foundation, and it is a 501c3 foundation. So really, what we do is that as we were talking with a young lady on the earlier program, is that we help families that do need assistance. We don't actually advocate a lot of times for them, but if they need us to go in into IEP meetings and things
Okay,
like that,
okay.
we find someone that suits their needs, or be able to say, "Hey, I need you to call Sid Sip. I need you to call someone that will be able to help you with this situation, because I don't have the answers to everything, and I have to look up things as well. And I do also a lot of workshops, so I'm very into empowering our parents so they understand. I do a lot with their fathers, because the fathers break down and they're like, I will never see my daughter get married. I'll never throw the football to my son. So we try to make sure that we give life to everybody.
So that
Important.
Support system. So it's creating that village, so that way people understand that, oh, I didn't know it. There's so many stories that we have that we share together, and we're like, oh, so I'm not the only one?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
and sometimes we take them for granted.
Yeah,
We're
I'm not the only
that's
one
going
that
through it.
has
Right.
a stock of pizza in my freezer, because that's all you'll eat for a whole month.
Or chicken nuggets.
And
or-
then you feed them and you make the pizza, and then they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Pizza, your pizza." No, I want hot dogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And you're like, "Wait, what? We then went a whole month with pizza. Now you want hot dogs?"
And I got all these boxes downstairs, and
We
you done
don't-
moved on.
Right? You done
What were
moved
you
on.
gonna tell me today when
Today.
I'm not needed?
Right. So it's those things that it's nice and refreshing to hear that. Oh, so your daughter does the same thing.
Like Sybil was saying, she was cleaning out the girls' closet, and how they'll just keep going to wear the same thing over and over and over
Over
again
and
if you don't
over.
move it.
If
Or they'll wear inappropriate time of year clothes,
Non-seasonal.
like non-seasonal clothes
Right.
when it's winter and they're trying to wear t-shirts and shorts.
And
Or what?
we were talking about routine. I had paper towels, and my son, I was cleaning the counter, and I moved it over, and I said, "Go get a paper towel and wipe your mouth off." And And he just kept reaching and reaching. And I stood back and I watched, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, I'm getting the paper towel." And it was literally all I had to
Right
do,
there.
right there. And I said, "Cortez," and I had to take his hand. And I said, "Here's the paper towel." And he said, "No, I'm getting a paper towel." And I said, "It's right here." So I moved it back, and he was like, "I said, I'm just getting the paper towel."
And he got the paper towel.
Got the paper towel. But that taught me you have to keep it routine. But you said earlier, too, and I said, because we try to make them become us.
Yep.
I moved my son's bed from one end to the other cleaning, and he came home and moved that whole bed back. Hercules.
My favorite was when I would buy stuff for Sydney and Sabrina, and I would make it all pretty in their room, and perhaps come down the steps and go back up, and everything new was in the hallway, thrown out.
They wanted the old stuff back.
Yeah, so this weekend we had like a huge milestone. We usually do it at the end of the year. I wasn't available, so we did it the first weekend. We make room for the new year. So we have to take out the old so that we can have room for the new. And I didn't have to negotiate.
Wow.
I was like,
That's
it was huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Sydney helped me in both rooms where I thought Sabrina, their favorite sweater, their go-to every day. I was like, I don't want to see that Van sweater, that Van hoodie. Literally, there's stuff that they got new Nike coats. I'm like, we have to negotiate. These are your new coats. So Sabrina took the new coats and hung the new coats, and then Dad and Bonus Mom bought them new coats. So they got 2 separate. There's 4 new coats there, and I'm like, okay, so these are the old coats. Sydney, where do they go? And she went to the bag and she put them in the bag. And I was like, and somebody's gonna really like these Nike coats because we're gonna give these away to somebody that really, really needs it, that can fit it. You guys are growing out of this stuff, you know. And it took all day because there was 2 rooms, and it was Sydney just stuffs all her stuff. I had to tell Sabrina, let's fold it like Shoe City. And so she gets it all out because she loves folding at Shoe City on the folding board.
Okay.
So she likes to fold sweaters and T-shirts like at the store. And Sydney just balls it up and then puts it in her. We Talk Ross, same thing. When I got to the bottom of Sydney's dresser, there was so much new stuff underneath the last, the last drawer, and there's this much stuff, like this much hollow. It was stuff under there, brand new.
Never been worn.
Because they keep going back to what they want.
Yeah, because that's what they're used to. I gave Caleb one of Cortez's wrestling shirts.
I bet he wanted that back.
As soon as he seen him wear it,
made him
take it off.
Take it off.
Now.
That is mine. Cortez can't get his arm in it. He
But
got
that's
that
mine.
shirt and he took it up to his room and put it in his drawer.
that's
Okay.
his.
He didn't try to put it on.
No,
but that
that's
is
his.
his shirt.
Yep.
Seth has the same pair of Nikes from last school year that he insists he's still going to wear to school. Can't fit him, wear them like Crocs. Steps on the back of them. Still to this day tries to walk. I'm be like, boy, take them shoes off. You're not wearing them.
Yep.
They fit him like Crocs. He steps on the back of them
The
and
girl
insists to wear them.
The girl Tiara said earlier to me, I thought she would bring it up, what to do when your son or daughter on the spectrum won't wear a certain item of clothing. And I was like, maybe it's the tag. She said, Sybil, he won't wear jeans anymore. All he can wear is the sweatpants.
But
So
it's the
so
texture.
Yes,
It's
I was just
texture.
gonna say that.
I said it's too heavy for him.
his fine motor skills.
His
to-
fine motor
to-
skills
to-
have said these pants are too heavy, and something about these jeans that you keep making me wear every day, I
feel
don't
right.
like.
Something about them are so uncomfortable.
Comfortable.
Yep.
That
And it's
he-
driving me crazy.
I kind of feel that way about jeans, kind of.
Saying,
Just saying.
I love my
Restricted.
comfortable pants.
So she's like, and it's kudos to her because she didn't make him do it. She wasn't like the whole
Forcing them.
forcing him.
You
Like,
can't.
she said the swimming lessons cost too much money. He kept crying. I left. I never took him back. The jeans don't fit. there's something wrong with the jeans. Now he wears hoodies.
And that's,
sweat.
if she's interested in swimming, she could even put that in the IEP.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, all of that stuff she could reintroduce.
Yeah. So this has been fantastic.
One more question for Derrick.
Yes.
Where can we find your book at?
You can go to Amazon, and it's don't call me different. I just do it differently, and it's under Derrick Durrell Dixon and Cortez Baker. So you can find it there. And then my new book, anything that I do is always going to be under Derrick Durrell Dixon. So you can find me on any social media under Derrick Durrell Dixon, or you could also the 3D Foundation on Instagram and Facebook. You can do it then. And I wanted to say this real quick before we leave too, is that one thing that I have taught, because I do have two other boys that I adopted as well, that we deem ourselves them Dixon boys, DEM Dixon boys.
Dixon boys.
And I gave my boys, so I all gave them my middle initial. So my name is Derrick Durrell Dixon. So I have Cortez Dion, Jaden Dean, and Caleb D'Angelo. So that it stays within the 3D.
That's right.
So anytime that Cortez has a seizure, I tell the boys, come in the room. And because I want them to know what is going on. So if they were out somewhere alone without me, and they could say, my brother's having a seizure, this is what we need to do. This is who we need to call. And so they're never afraid of what's going on and just preparing them too. Because I think it's important, because I always, what do we do when we're not here?
Yeah.
No, that's
life after autism.
What do we do? And I said, it's now time for me to teach the next. So therefore, if they see their brother, if they see someone else out in the community, then they know how to service that person.
Right.
Yes.
And that's important.
That's so important.
Yeah, and it's all of this is so relevant to what's next.
Right.
We talked about, IEP, and the IEP gets us set up for school age individuals, and then DDA gets us prepared for the adults living on the spectrum. And then it's about us.
Right.
Once we've done our job, we just want to make sure that our loved ones, our children, the people that are our legacy has a place in this world. And that's how the Sid Foundation came about, because it was like, you know what? They're not going to be employable. They're going to own. And so I said, they're going to have their own foundation. And if they come to the foundation every day and want to, plant all day long, play in the mud, that's what they're going to do as adults, and that is how come this podcast, this is how come you and I have been joined together since 2016. Beth, high school Columbia girl, to Atlanta Spelman girl, to now being a part of Ross and TJ's world. I love following TJ on Instagram. To, my Sharona, I graduated 81 and she was born. So I feel like she's my child. She says she looks just like Sydney and Sabrina. So those are her little sisters, and Seth and Cyrus are my grandboys. And I don't know, just to be able to share the stories, and we're all so different, but yet so similar. And that's why God put us together, and to be transparent and to be able to speak this long without being interrupted. We all have stuff to do, sleep, rest. But when we get together and we could just, chit. Here it is. Wait, chit chat. I'm the cocktail girl. I got my cocktail sister. Usually it's just me and then the mocktail girl. So we got mocktail, cocktail, mocktail, cocktail tonight. And Mike's a cocktail. No, mocktail too.
Mocktail.
So I just want to say in closing, you got me October the 14th or whenever. Anytime I think about what we can do to support one another, I'm there. If I'm not,
I'll be there.
Yes, thank
We're
you.
all going to be there.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, because I think it's important.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do.
The one thing that I do want to plug is Sharona's Blues Brother TPC. the Therapeutic Play Center is in the parking lot. Did you see it out there?
No, but
when
I'm
you
going
guys
to look
walk
for
up,
it. Okay.
it's right. We park it right over by Malik. Some of
Well,
Malik's stuff.
she told me I had to park way over there and I had to walk over here and everything. So I was looking around, making sure I was safe. One had to come and be like, "Excuse me, you looking for this?" I said, "Okay," because she told me I got to park way over here off the hill.
It's so bad. It's so bad. This townhome community does not have a lot of parking, so we have to park over there. But it's safe because our cars are there.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
TPC Therapeutic Play, Seth
Center
and
is
Cyrus.
there.
Everybody sees it when they drive past, and they always text me, "We saw the boys' trailer," and I'm like, "Yup." So we do a lot of stuff with them. That's always available for us. We're going to go live. I want you to be a part of our live broadcast when we put it together in April.
Okay.
I told them a little bit about some of the locations that you're looking at. We talked about some of the guests. So in closing, I just thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, it's
really
a pleasure
was.
meeting y'all. I'm just so
It really
excited. You know,
was.
I thank God for, Sybil and what she has done to teach me. Little does she know that she has taught me so much of walking this life. And this theme, the theme for this year's Stomp the Runway for Autism is the year of the superhero. And we're superheroes.
We
Yes,
really
we
are.
Yeah.
We really are. And you had a superhero logo about something, and it gave me clarification that it's the year of the superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'm going to say it right now that all three of our families will be walking the runway, whether it's Ross and TJ and Tommy, Ed, Sharona, Anthony, Seth, and Cyrus.
We'll
And
do it
if
big
Shara,
this year.
if Shara's in town, we'll all walk that runway for you during that segment of the
Yes.
autism piece.
Absolutely.
You know, Sioux City all closes.
We're going to get Oprah. Oprah, you're here?
Yes!
Tyler Perry, Oprah, John Cena, The Rock.
Okay. So in closing, thank you guys so much, and we will be right back next week or next month. Who knows?